Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Prime Time Footy, the home of all things football. I'm your host Javi, and these are my co-hosts, the one and only Coach Daniel, and my boy Sergio out here representing.
Vamos.
We have an exciting show for you guys. Happy New Year! Thank you for being on with us. We're excited to host you guys today. How do you guys feel? Game week 21. How do you guys feel about the state of the Prem? How are you guys feeling after game week 21?
Everything's still up in the air, boys. Let's go. Still not concrete. Still excited. Every game week is gonna be a huge week. So that's how I feel.
I'm disappointed at Arsenal. Today they had a chance to make a big statement and, beat Liverpool, which I think they haven't done in a minute. Considering like Liverpool had no strikers, no wingers, nothing. Yeah, they let me down and they made me lose money too. So
All I'm gonna say is that my friend somewhere is saying, they prey on our downfall. That's all I know. They prey on our downfall. That's all I know. I think we're gonna leave Arsenal versus Liverpool for last because we have a lot of big opinions, and what we saw today was, I think, a telltale sign of what we could expect for the rest of the season. So I think we could get started and maybe discussing a little bit of what you guys felt individually throughout the actual other games that we saw in the Premier League. There's a lot of big results that I think will kind of, play a big role in the later portion of the season. So, for example, let's just take it step by step. If we look at West Ham versus Nottingham Forest, wow, that was a 6 point game in my opinion. And I think the fact that West Ham couldn't pick up anything up against Forest, I think, wow.
that was a final.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were up too. They were up a goal in the first half. Nottingham Forest got that penalty at like the last minute in extra time.
Yeah.
Was pretty crazy.
I think that disallowed goal by Somerville that was offside. I think it was offside by Castellanos. I can't remember, but I think that killed West Ham. I think it just killed their momentum completely. I think that was the first half where they were just they had scored the second and it was 2-0, and then VAR, bro.
Yeah, you got to remember also, like the week before that, West Ham lost 3-0 against Wolves. So now you're talking about two games literally fighting for relegation, and then, you lose both of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nuno Espirito Santo gets the Maduro treatment and, gets out.
That's a wild statement,
Maduro treatment is crazy, bro.
Being sacked, that we're just talking about it, being sacked twice in one season is kind of crazy work. But, Espiritu Santo, bro, it's not looking good for him.
Nah, let me tell you something. My boy lost the team that fired him. He just lost to Forest, the team that fired him, bro. I know he was home seething, bro.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, yeah,
that burnt that heart, boy.
For sure. And I think
they just got in two strikers too, so not all hope is lost, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a chance. I do think that there's where I think they really need to cement something a little bit more solid is at their back line. I'm not sure if it's it just reeks of a championship back line, and I don't know if they have the enough back there to keep them up, And I just don't know because, typically you see Paqueta and Bowen, kind of helping them out in Solskjaer, get him over the line. You've barely seen any of that, and I don't think Bowen can do it alone either way. Yeah. They're not clicking. Yeah. They're not clicking.
Bad for them.
Them losing Kudus, I think, was a big blow for them. For sure. I think he was kind of like that linchpin too. But Bowen's been playing like as a striker, I feel like, or like a false nine, or has he been playing as a winger this season?
I can't
even know what his strong suit is, honestly. I just feel like they just put him up top and just wish for the best.
I'm pretty sure though Bowen has the most minutes racked up in the Prem for any player. I mean, I don't think that he's had much rest, and I think he's carrying that team on his back, and it's really not working out. I think Nuno can get him out of it. It's going to take a big mentality shift from the club, from Nuno, and from these players. Hopefully the two strikers that came in, Castellanos I know a little bit more about, so I know that he's decent. I don't know how quickly he's going to adapt to the league, but I am excited to see how he does in this league, though.
Yeah, it'll be crazy because the last time they were relegated was back in 2010-2011 season.
2010.
So it's funny because the season before that, if I'm not mistaken, 2008 they were about to get relegated, but then in January they signed Javier Mascherano and Carlos Tevez, and especially Tevez with the last minute free kick in the last game of the season. He saved them from relegation, and then he went to United. So maybe, like Javi was mentioning, with these two signings, that can be the key for the boat not to. Yeah, not to submerge
it is exciting to see. It is exciting to see. Like, January is the opportunity for a lot of these clubs to really change their whole season. So I'm excited to see what a team.
I mean, look at Wolves, Wolverhampton. They haven't lost in 2026 yet.
Yeah, undefeated.
3 games, 1 win, 2 draws.
Undefeated. Oh. Moving on to Bournemouth versus Tottenham.
The choo-choo
the
train.
Thomas the Frank train, man. Did you see him with his little Arsenal cup?
Bro, everyone thought that shit was AI.
How did they let man slide? Where is
who
his
took
PR
that
team?
picture, bro? Yeah, who
and
took
the fact
that
he was like, oh, it's not such a big deal, like insane.
Yeah, bro.
No, but he's on record glazing
bro.
consistently.
Like, how was it perfectly placed?
He loves us, bro. He loves us.
In the fucking camera, and he's just smiling with it too, with the little smirk. Like, bro, come on.
When I first saw it, I thought it was AI. I really thought it was AI.
It's so funny. But going back to the result a little bit, I think Bournemouth is a well-oiled machine, and I just think that result kind of epitomizes where Thomas is, right? I think, they're trying to stumble, they're stumbling along the way of getting something connected, but Bournemouth has consistently shown that from the jump, since his new manager has come in, that they will put performances in against anybody, So it's a rough loss for Tottenham because it just leaves more question marks for the fan base about Thomas. Like, is he the right guy? Is he the right guy? I'm sure everybody in that fan base is asking themselves, can we sustain having this guy around? It's not really working out for us. It's not the football that they thought. They thought they were getting a mad scientist of ball, and it's not working out that way.
Yeah, well, in his defense, has he been getting any backing from Tottenham? I mean, what sign? He hasn't signed any players that I think he's wanted. Maybe in this January window he'll get some backing. Because from what I'm seeing is I think he's just taken what's been there. Nothing new has come in through the doors, and he has had some injuries, right? Like Solanke is still injured.
Big injury. Yeah.
Yeah. Madison, big injury too. So he hasn't had a lot to work with in terms of how he would want to play his ball, but he also doesn't have that profile of player that I think he can kind of mold the team around. So, hopefully, we'll see what happens in this window.
Yeah. I just feel like, I don't know. I think even though Tottenham, there's not such a giant club, on paper they're a big club. So I feel like just the role it's a little too much for him, because you gotta remember, like, the last time Bournemouth lost that game was back in October 2026. 11 games without a win, and then they go play Tottenham and they get a nice W. Semenyo, his last goal before leaving to Man City. And then just talking about the players that he signed, he actually did sign a couple of players. Talk about Kudus, Palhinha, Xavi Simons, Olomuani.
Right.
Again, on paper they look like superstars, but on the field they haven't been able to connect, and that's the issue that the fan base has right now with Thomas Frank, that he's playing too defensive. They went from Ange playing a super high line to now parking the bus with Thomas Frank. So now it might be confusing for the players as well to synchronize, to find a connection. And then you were asking if the board backed them up. Well, look what Curti Romero posted yesterday, saying that some of the board are fault. There should be they're guilty as well for everything that's going on. He posted on his Instagram.
Romero, right?
Yeah,
he did. So, he did kind of
big word,
blaming them. There's something definitely going on behind the scenes. Maybe they promised Romero, hey, don't worry, stay another season. We'll sign some top players, but hasn't been the case.
Yeah, Kudus has been in and out too, right?
Hopefully he comes to Real Madrid. I want Romero in Real Madrid.
Take him. I'd be happy.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
like even with those signings that Spurs did, it doesn't even feel like anything new has come into the side because they haven't done anything. I think Kula Milani, has he even
Ghost.
scored, bro? He hasn't scored
No,
a goal all
bro,
season, bro.
that guy's worse than Gyökeres, and
Yeah.
that's saying a lot.
Palhinha though for sure, 100%. He's a defensive rock, but that he did a golazo bicycle kick.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Versus
that.
Bournemouth. He's had 2 of them, I think, this season. But yeah, Kudus is hurt now. I don't know how long he's gonna be out for. So he just picked up that thigh injury.
I don't think that Tottenham. This is my opinion. So the tables. I feel like the table is a little bit of a liar right now, but I do think I give him into maybe February, March. And I don't think Tottenham escapes being mid-table. They're not in risk of relegation. They're not. That's not the conversation that they're gonna have with Tottenham. But I think this season is an L for them. I think what they have to do is iron out the kinks. Unfortunately, Romero can feel how he feels, but there's other players. Sell him, whatever you need to do. Bring in another guy. I know he's top class, but at the end of the day, I think Thomas should probably get that backing. Realistically speaking, he's proven in the league that he could sustain Tottenham, and with proper investment, probably do something a little bit higher quality than what he did at was it Brentford?
Yeah.
The
Well,
G-Tech.
they also don't have Daniel Levy either anymore, so they might not be quick to sack a coach. They might give him some time. So I would hope so. I think Thomas the Frank can keep choo-chooing his way through.
Hey, if not, hopefully he gets sacked and he goes for the Chelsea job. Hey, stay in London. Stay in London, bro.
He can
Please.
go back to, where is he from? Finland? Swedish?
I don't know where
Denmark? I think he's from Denmark, no?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's something. All right, guys. I think we can move on from the nightmare that is Tottenham, which I'm sure everybody hearing would be okay with that. If you guys are comfortable, I think we should talk Fulham versus Chelsea. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Serge, I kind of want to get, like, as a Chelsea fan, what is your overall feeling with the state of the club? Because it's a roller coaster, and I'm just curious how you guys feel.
I mean, in my personal opinion, and I probably share the same opinion as a lot of Chelsea fans, it's just it's just a shit show right now, man. Just from the top down. We don't know what direction this club is going in. Thought after last season we would be building on progress, and we did see some progress. But I kind of feel like now the team has kind of like plateaued. I think we've won maybe like 2 games in the last like 11 games. I think we're like 2 wins out of the last 11 in all competitions. And right now it just seems like the team is just like losing confidence. You can see it in the players; they're not playing to their highest potential. And that's, with everything that's going on, losing a coach, flip-flopping coaches. It's just from the top down, it's not looking good. And I can only imagine what it's looking like, behind the scenes in that dressing room. But, it's just not good enough right now, man. And the players are doing a disservice too with, disciplinary actions. Cucurella getting a red card in this game. Like, there is no reason for that. Yeah, man, it's not looking good, but I think we have enough quality to still fight for that top 4, but it really depends on this new coach that we brought in.
Is he in already? He's not in, right?
He is. Yeah, he is in. He's his first game that he's gonna be coaching is this Saturday against the FA game that we got going on Saturday.
The FA Cup game.
Yeah,
against us. Wait, who you guys play?
No, I think it's Charleston. Is it Charleston? No, not Charleston. What am I talking about?
Wait, don't you guys play Arsenal first?
No, we played them on Wednesday.
It's Charlton that you guys play in the
Charlton,
FA Cup.
Yeah.
You guys play us for the Carabao Cup. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. No, I mean, I think from the outside looking in, I think I'll talk about the positives first. I think, how you saw the first game that the caretaker was in charge of when they tied against City. I think seeing the captains Reece and then you see Enzo kind of like unite the fan base, I think that was all positives, and it should kind of show Chelsea fans that potentially that which they probably already knew, but some of the core players that are there,
yeah,
those are the ones that you have to properly like build your team around.
For sure, we have quality players, and a strong core. But if we're getting wingers from fucking United, Garnacho playing on the left wing, it's not going to help us at all. But we definitely have that strong group, and we show that we do come up in big games. But it's just the inconsistency. So that's the biggest issue at this moment.
So it's interesting because you talk about Chelsea came off from a great summer. Winning the FIFA Club World Cup, winning the Conference Cup, League or whatever you want to call it. And they had a decent season in Premier League. Maybe not as high as they wanted to finish on the table, but it was good. They finished top 4, right? So they're back in the Champions League. So things were going well, and then injuries started to happen. Some players that they bought in the summer are not clicking as they thought, like the wingers, especially Giddings, Garnacho, who I don't know why they signed him, Bonanotte, another signing that made no sense. Lavia, who he's been injured for like 3 years now.
Yo, crazy.
He hasn't even played a full 90 minutes.
So like I do feel for Maresca because he brought these players or the board, somebody brought the players, but they haven't been clicking in. Now something that I heard is that the club wanted Maresca to rest some players, the sports scientist department, based on the data and the science, backing them up. They were suggesting for him to rest some players in some games, and he didn't want to. He wanted to do his own 11, his own lineup, which is fair. He's the coach, the manager. So I feel like that's where the discussions began, and everything just went down the hill. Remember, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he went out at a press conference saying that I have the trust of the fans, but not the trust of other people. He was referring to the board. So now we know why. I just hope that going forward, El Gringo, like we like to call him, Todd, and the others in charge, let the coaches do their job and let them be. If they go down, they go down, but let them work.
I think Egbali was the big one that was causing a rift between everyone. Is if we're led to believe all the reports. But yeah, there's just a lot of rumors and a lot of hearsay they say. So I just want to think about how we move forward. And that's looking real cloudy right now. We really don't know where this team is headed. But if they remain headfast, and hopefully this coach can kind of motivate them, we get that bounce, that new coach bounce. You never know what can happen.
Yo, but you guys are still champions of the world, so it's all good, all rosy.
Exactly, big dog. Exactly.
Yeah, for the next 4 years.
But talking about the game though, that red card from Cucurella was disastrous.
That was so silly.
So dumb, especially with his experience. It was his first game back. I think he hasn't played like the last 2 games, I think. So maybe he was just too emotional. But we are seeing some flashes from the lap now. He's looking a little better. It looks like he's kind of growing into the season. He scored his first goal for Chelsea, so that was nice to see. He completely could have had a brace that game. And even with 9 men down, I think in the second half they really showed the quality. But at the end of the day, they couldn't get the W.
I do think. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I do think there's an issue because that's I think their 8th or 9th red card this season.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
You're talking about 19, 20 games in, and to have 9 red cards is just crazy. Like for example, I love my boy Caicedo, but he needs to relax. He reminds me of Roy Keane, Gattuso, quality, yeah, but there's no point of having all the quality when you're suspended every other game.
For sure.
So for example, for Ecuador, he's gonna be out for the first game of the World Cup against So it's frustrating because you're amazing, you have the talent, but what's the point if you're always suspended? So he needs to relax, all of them essentially, and just be mindful on when and where they should commit those fouls, those cycles, and Cucurella, maybe don't foul the guy, let him score 1-0, but at least Chelsea have 11 players.
At least you have 11, yeah.
Because that was early in the game.
Agree. Totally agree. I think, I think that's something that you kind of saw with Arsenal a year or two ago, where it
I
was the
remember.
youth, the youth. And I think,
Dozy.
That doesn't make sense.
not only when that Guendouzi was crazy, but I think what also feeds into it is the coach you have. Arteta during that time was a lot more animated, in my opinion, in the sidelines, and he would egg on the players to almost be a little bit more aggressive, as opposed to now where they're more assertive, which I think is a big mental shift and a big sign of maturity. So I think Chelsea and some of those players, without even realizing, they're in that phase again. I think once you switch managers and everything, you kind of fluctuate emotionally, and they're probably trying to get a grip on things again. And, Cucurella, I think he's been one of the most improved left backs in all of the Prem. I think he's top 3 left backs in the whole Prem. But I think that wasn't his most that wasn't his best moment, to say the least. But I think it'll come with the right manager being in charge and setting a proper tone for what he expects in terms of them being assertive versus aggressive.
Just to add to that, how you were saying like lack of experience. Right now this season, in terms of like average, Chelsea's the youngest team in the Premier League. 23.7 is the average of the whole squad, and then you have Southampton 24, Arsenal 24, Brentford 24, and Burnley 24. So that talk about experience and all that.
It reflects on the pitch for sure.
Yeah. So they live. You live and you learn. Hopefully,
Exactly.
all the ones that are getting these red cards, they will think twice before doing something like that next time.
Yeah. I think big result for Fulham. I think that's another team that's kind of always consistently in the middle of the table. And I think, them picking up points against Chelsea. Harry Wilson, I think, is having the season of his life.
Hell yeah.
Just balling out. I think I think Smith Rowe's having a similar season last year. I think that's every now and then they have those players where they just like they play really well and they have a positive season. I think if they can get 1 or 2 more players to like have a similar, type of season, they could really do some damage and potentially fight for European spots.
Yeah.
But I think it was a great result for them, and I think, Chelsea, once they get this manager in, I think you'll see a different animal. I really do. I think he's going to set a tone, and he's going to want to set a tone. I think he's going to want to make an impact, especially with all these managers that are here. And, I think we'll see it pretty quickly, in my opinion.
Did you see what he said? He said
he's saying all the right things.
Yeah, he wants a team who will defend from the first minute to the 9th minute. He wants a team that will defend from the goalkeeper to the striker to the goalkeeper. He wants attractive football. He wants the fans to, even if some games they might not win, they want the fans to be happy of the performance of what they live on the pitch.
I think what really stood out to me, a quote from him was like, he's like, I want to coach. I don't want to coach Chelsea the football club. I want to coach a winning Chelsea football club.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, he's speaking real big right now. So he's speaking with his chest, but
he's hungry.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
See,
he's hungry.
That's the problem with those type of coaches.
You have a coach who's maybe not as hungry or doesn't look as hungry as usual. Pep Guardiola in City, bro. 1-1 against Brighton. And I don't even think this has been the best facet of Brighton that we've seen. Like, this is not the, this Bright. It's not the Brighton that where, oh my God, that's where we need to get players from. It's not the same Brighton, and they couldn't get the win it was a massive game for them. I think.
Did you see the game? Did you see all the shots that they missed? Haaland had like 1-on-1, hit the post. Bernardo Silva hit the post. They had so many chances, Man City, to score, but
to end it.
It's just not happening. Three draws in a row now.
I think Haaland has to be one of the most prolific strikers we've ever seen. I feel though like there's this hint when it comes to high pressure moments where he's not the most clutch player you could have. That we've even seen. I do feel like he kind of hides a little bit. And I think that's the area where I think he needs to improve a little bit, because they've clearly built this team around Haaland. Like they're building around Haaland. Haaland is the face, And I do think that in those moments where you would have had even a Fernandinho, even a Vincent Company just grabbing people by the scruff of the neck and trying to get something over the line, I see his head go down, and I think that's not who he even wants to be. And he's fighting within himself to be that guy. But in those clutch moments, it's not working out. But it's Holland. Like, I mean, the guy's goal scoring ratio is ridiculous, right? Like, yeah, I mean, he's scored. If you look at his numbers for the last like 10 games, we'd be happy if Gyökeres had that. You know what I mean? Like if any of our strikers had that.
Yeah, he is the top scorer of the Prem. So even
Yeah.
with him missing all those shots,
I just feel like I wish there was a graphic where we could see if like
compare those big games,
like clutch players, if it was possible to see if like, okay, who really is a clutch, like the clutchest player or the clutchest striker we got out here, because I do feel like he may lack in those specific moments, high pressure, high intensity game.
Yeah, who's really shining on City's Cherky. He's come in, he's completely changed that team. He's so like elegant on that ball. It's really fun to watch. But yeah, City's only 6 points away from the leaders at this moment in time. So we'll see what happens. City's always, fighting. There was a time where, it looked like Pep had that fire in him, and I still think he does. I just feel like he has a lot of moving parts, a lot of rotation in that midfield. So I think he'll get it, at some point in time in the second half of the season. But I still have City, with their experience and Pep with, his mind. I think he'll find a way to get it done this season. But he can't afford to keep dropping points.
You mean get it done like win the league?
I mean, it's still. I mean, right now Arsenal's showing that they still, can draw points here and there, and so is City. But it's only a 2-game gap, so we'll see what happens. I've always had City even from the beginning of the season. So
up the Gunners.
Up the Gooners. Up the Gooners. Okay, kind of transitioning a little bit to a different game. Maybe not as much of an impact in the title race. Burnley versus Manchester United. The mighty Burnley versus Man U. Wow.
Sesko.
Yeah,
waking up,
bro. Some golazos,
I mean,
man.
clutch. Hopefully it's a game where he could finally kick on. You know what I mean? I think they brought him in, and like I think for a young striker to have that much pressure on his shoulders, it's a lot. Like, I mean, look at what happened to what was the Hoyland? Remember Hoyland when they brought him in, and there was all this pressure to make sure that he's bagging in all these goals. He's got to be a 20 a season striker. It's tough in this league, man. Like, you really have to adapt and kind of like grow into it. I don't think that I've ever seen anybody but Holland like hit the ground running so quickly. So hopefully it's a game where he kicks on, but I do think it's not the best result for Man United in terms of what they want to do, in terms of their aspirations for the top 4 or for Europe. I think this should be a layup no matter what point Manchester United's in my opinion. I think even Fletcher could be in the dugout. It doesn't matter. This should be an automatic 3 points, and that's no disrespect to Burnley. I just think the heritage of what Man U has represented for the Prem speaks for itself, and those players should be carrying that badge with a little bit more pride.
Yeah, we could be saying that for a lot of seasons now. But yeah, I find it interesting that Sesko went off after the sacking of his manager, Ruben. So we'll see what happens going forward. But I wasn't able to catch the game, but I did see the highlights. Bruno Fernandes came back. I mean, what an amazing player that Bruno is for that team. I mean,
So
even coming off
underrated.
of so underrated. Coming off of that minor hamstring injury and just coming in and just dictating the game still, like, so underrated, like Daniel says. But yeah, we'll see what happens. He dropped points. United dropped points to Wolves last game week too. So kind of back to back. Should have been 3 points each of those games, but
And
they can't get it over the line.
Yeah,
and against relegation teams.
I will say, in my opinion, I don't know if Bruno is the captain for United, or even a modern day United. In my opinion, I think he's a great player, and I would think he's borderline, like maybe in that conversation of maybe being world class. He needs a lot more like silverware for me. but I just don't know if he's the man to take them to the next phase of what United can be. I think there's a lot missing from Bruno, in my opinion. I think he's a great individual player. I'm not sure if he's, what I would want as a captain, in my opinion. But I think, going forward, I think United have the chance to, even though they're having a bad season, still get into those European places. I think that the league is still really open, especially at this point in time.
Especially at mid-table, bro.
Absolutely. It's
We gotta
gonna.
see. I'm saying we gotta see who takes over. Fletcher stays. Ole back at the wheel. Ole back at the wheel.
Oh yeah, Ole at the
Sign
wheel,
the contract.
boys.
Sign the contract. Give him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
It was fun to see them switch the system, go back to a 4-2-3-1. With Fernandez, they're a completely different team. Without him, they lose that creativity. When he came off, it was back to the old clueless United. They forgot his name. Lacey, I think his name is. Winger that they put on, a right winger.
Oh yeah.
Pretty from the academy. Interesting player. He took a nice shot. I think it went right over the crossbar.
Yeah.
But people are talking about how come Amorim never put him on, didn't give the guy a chance. What's his name? Shea Lazy, 18-year-old right winger.
You'll never see that kid again. I promise you. Once once the permanent manager comes, you'll never see that kid again. You'll see him in 2 years. I just think that a Fletcher would do that. I think maybe an Ole would do that in phases, but I think a manager, if you get, let's just throw out a random name, even if you get Pep, I don't think Pep is throwing in that 18-year-old. I think he wants a more established player. I think he wants someone he can rely on the ball a little bit more. I think it takes a special type of manager to play that kid. Fletcher has nothing to lose. Like he's a caretaker manager, so I think it's so easy for him to just be like, throw him in. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His neck is not on the line. My boy's just covering. He's a substitute teacher. He's the cool teacher. Yeah.
Also, Mason Mount is back, but the guy has always been bad anyways.
Amorim love Mason Mount. I mean,
he really did.
His fitness has let down so many managers. I don't want to be that guy because he's a human. But his fitness, man, it's just, even from Chelsea's days, it's disappointing.
Yeah, it was all downhill, man. Yeah, his best seasons were coming down in those 2018 to 2020, I think. After 2020, it just started going down.
Hopefully he can get a good run of games. I don't know what they've done to Luke Shaw, what they've put in his water, but he's injury free for a little while. So I think Luke Shaw would have been a Man United legend if it would have been a different story. If the story could have been different, I think he would have he could have done something there, and he'd be captaining the team by now. But it's crazy because after 13, I don't know how many years he's been there, he's only had 300 full caps for.
Yeah.
It's actually, in my opinion, kind of sad, but hopefully he can stay fit and he could do something. And yeah, you see, he's still kind of young, so maybe he could get something going. Okay, guys, we got to talk about, I think this is the game of the week for me personally. Newcastle United versus Leeds. I'm not sure if you guys watched that game.
No. I was watching. I was just following it on my app, and I saw Leeds were leading the game for a good amount of time. And I saw the final score, and I was like, "How did Newcastle come back, bro? Crazy!"
Man, if you guys get a chance, go back and watch the highlights, or go back and watch the last 45 minutes, because that is definitely the game of the season. It's an instant Premier League classic. It was just absolutely unreal. Just when Leeds thought, okay, we're good here. Leeds were leading all three of their goals they were leading, and then Newcastle United just came in and just said, "Nah, we're here, bro. We're gonna take
what a switch, right, from Leeds." They were talking about fucking sacking what's his name, Faulkner?
Yeah.
They were talking about sacking him and how they were playing terrible football. But now it's a complete 180, bro. They are putting up a fight to every week, basically. Now they're putting up a fight, and they almost had this one against Newcastle.
I think the stats merchants, the stat people were saying in one of the podcasts that I watched, they were basically saying that Leeds has the highest XG of all the teams that you wouldn't expect to have high XG, and now they're finally starting to convert. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin having this
Yeah.
run, I don't even know where my man's has come from because I used to have him in fantasy when he was at Everton, and my boy was not putting up nothing, bro.
At all.
I had faith, and now he's finally putting
how
up
much
numbers.
did Leeds pay for Calvert-Lewin, bro?
They
Was
paid a
it for
decent
free?
amount, actually. No,
No, he was free. I think wasn't he
He might have
free?
been free, bro.
Oh,
I
actually,
think he was
let me
free,
see.
bro. Who was
Yeah,
paying
no,
for
no,
Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
He was free. He was free.
Pull it
No
up, there you
offense,
go.
kid.
That's crazy.
Yeah, nah, my boy. Each one of those goals is worth at least 10 mil if you stay up. More than 10 mil if you stay up.
100%, bro.
Yeah, I think but seriously, go back, watch that game. Anybody who's listening, go back, watch that whole game. That is the game of the season, and I don't think we'll see a better game than that. It was just, I think it had almost everything. Maybe. Yeah, it was such a good game. I think for Newcastle United to pick up those points. Who was home? Was it Leeds or Newcastle?
Newcastle.
I think Newcastle.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I didn't remember that, but it makes sense. They at home they're just a different animal, right?
They're a beast for sure.
So there's certain teams that at home you just don't want to mess with. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the big one: Arsenal versus Liverpool. Serge, talk to me. What did you think of the game? First off,
well, I think it was just, to me, it was just classic Arsenal, right? Like they weren't able to cement the foot forward to, say, hey, look, we're the big boys in town. Especially they played in the Emirates, right?
Of course,
they had to get those 3 points and actually show everyone like, hey, even though the game against Aston Villa, that was a big statement game. They cut that winning streak. And the game after that too, they showed, I think they were down, right? They were against Bournemouth. They were losing 1-0 against the Cherries, and they came back and they won that game. So they did show that they had some grit, but against Liverpool at home, this game to me, I think would have told me like, all right, Arsenal are legit, and I would have been like, all right, like I can see them actually winning the league now, but them not even scoring at home, that kind of was that's a big red flag to me. Kudos to Liverpool, but Liverpool again, like they didn't even have a shot on goal this whole game. They didn't have a shot on goal, and I just think it shows me that Arsenal still aren't ready for the title. If they couldn't beat Liverpool at home, I don't think they're ready, bro. I think they should have, took this game, won, took the 3 points, and they would have been 9 points, and I think that would have been it for the season.
I find it hilarious how when there's a corner kick, like you feel something different, like from the fans. Even me as a neutral watching the game, like, ooh, corner kick.
The last play of the game, bro.
No, like all corner kicks, because like Arsenal have scored so many goals from corner kicks, in a way, as a fan, as someone who watches the game, you kind of feel like, ooh, it feels like a corner kick is like a penalty kick for them. So like everyone gets excited, it's like, and then nothing happens, like you kind of get like, I don't know, what's the word, disappointed. So and then you start not to connect, you start to make some silly decisions that then the fans now start thinking, oh, can we do this, can we not do this? I must say I only watched the first half. I couldn't watch the second half, but first half Saka literally destroyed Kirkis. But again, that shows you, like, I know Javi loves Gyökeres, but like that shows you that he's not a true number 9. Like there were 2 plays. The Saka one when he beat Gyökeres and went all the way down the line, and then he beat McAllister. And in number 9 makes a run inside the box for Saka to find him, and he just stop hitting. Haaland, Gonzalo, any number 9 in the world. But the Gyökeres, I don't know, he was just like on his player, like just he was like marking the defender. And then there was another play. There was another play where Arsenal had a free kick. No, they had a corner kick, but then the ball went all the way on the other side, and then Rice got the ball, and then he sent another cross that it went literally in front of the net, in between the goalie and the 6-yard box, and nobody was there. Again, that's his spot, that's his area where he should be as a number 9. just to type it in. But like that that showed me that
Yeah,
he's not ready for
that
it.
was a big game. That was a big play. I think that was the cross you're talking in from.
Yeah, and then like I don't know, like it surprised me like how much respect Arsenal showed to Liverpool. Like there were some moments in the game where I'm like, why are you letting Liverpool have the ball? Like they're playing with no strikers, with no wingers. Like go and eat them. Like I was expecting more from Arsenal. Attitude at the beginning, yeah, like they showed the first 20 minutes, but then they kind of like took the foot off the gas and the Liverpool
I
like
wasn't expecting a 0-0 game.
yeah, and like I don't
A
know.
Liverpool versus Arsenal game is rarely 0-0. I think I'm not sure if we share the same opinions, but I think as a Arsenal fan, it was as an Arsenal fan, you want them to go for the throat.
A
I think.
Comera.
Yeah, I think no matter no, at no point in that game was I scared of losing. Let's just say that. At no point was
Yeah.
I scared of a
No, yeah.
Liverpool. I didn't feel like we didn't have any bite in our attack, and I felt Liverpool had a third of that. You know what I mean? So I was at no point did I fear getting like scored by Liverpool. Maybe that one Bradley where he was where Raya was called out because Saliba and Braya had a miscommunication, and
Yeah.
even then I was like, if they score, I think we come back and win this game. In my opinion, I think it would have been a different shift. But I think from what you said, I agree. Like the first 20 minutes, we were in second gear. I think we started the game in second gear, which I don't think that Arsenal does too often. But I think as the game progressed, I think the spine of the team from Gabriel to Rice to Odegaard to Saka, they didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. I think at every position, they were there for the taking, and I think it's more of a missed opportunity for what Serge is saying to make a statement in the league to say, yeah, we're here. But realistically speaking, Arteta is playing chess, and we're out here talking about our feelings and everything, and he's over here trying to just get any result in as much as he can. And I think when you're talking about giving Liverpool too much respect, I think that's exactly what they did. They just gave Liverpool too much respect. But more importantly than that, I think Arsenal did an Arsenal, and they just got in their head after those 20 minutes where they put all that pressure on. I think it should have been a no-brainer. Nah, we don't. No, stop talking about bottles, bro. That's
Can you see? Can you see it?
Well, it's
nah.
like I hear it a lot from Arsenal fans. Like they play to not lose, and I think that's a really big.
I don't know what Arsenal fans you talking to, bro. We don't play games to not lose,
I don't know
bro.
from what I'm saying, bro. It looks like they play to not lose, bro.
I don't know about that, bro. I think the game was there for a special moment, and there was no special moment, which is the same as the first game, right? The only reason there was a winner was because of Soboslai and his amazing free kicks. Amazing free kick. It was a freak.
Nasty.
Yeah, you saw him today. He couldn't. There were
He
nowhere
tried
near.
twice.
They try to
He tried
replicate it.
twice, bro. Yeah. I just think, this team is missing someone who is going to take these games and say, you know what? I'm here. I'm going to make something happen. I think somebody would have said to me 5 games ago, that's going to be Eze. Eze, when he got in, nowhere to be found. Madueke, when he got in, struggled. Where Saka was toying with defenders. You know what I mean? And I just think Martinelli is very direct, but at the same time, he lacks a little bit of ball knowledge in my sense, when to look up, when to pass, when to do specific things. He just wants to run and go and pass last second. I think so. There is no player, I think, that's really taking this team and saying, yeah, I'm going to propel us to the title. But I think the manager is tugging us there. He's yanking us there as much as he can.
I do feel for Arteta, because I'm sure like he doesn't show it. Really good at hiding emotions. During the press conference, during the on the sideline, he goes crazy. But like I'm talking about emotions in the sense of like it's been 6 years since he's been in charge, and like the board has backed him up with all the players that he asked for, plus more. So he has to deliver something this season. So I get the part of him maybe not directly playing not to lose, but he was cautious on some moments during the game, which I don't, I don't, I respect, because at the end of the day, any point that you can get, it's a plus, especially when City is not getting any 3 points at the moment.
Sure.
So maybe at the end of the season, this 1 point that they took today will make the difference
Yeah.
for them to finally cross the line and celebrate something since 2004 Premier League wise.
Damn, bro. See that? You're on
Not
mute,
throwing any darts. I'm just stating facts. That's it. No, not trying to throw any shade or anything like that. Listen,
Yeah.
I want Arteta to win. I want Arsenal. I have a lot of Arsenal friends, a lot of delusional friends. I mean, Arsenal friends. Uh, but yeah. Hopefully, they can cross the line and get there. But you're a mute, Javi.
Stay tuned, everybody. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens at the end of the season. I guess just wait and see.
I lost money today because of Arsenal. God damn it.
You lose a lot of money, bro. Betting with Arsenal, bro.
I gotta pay you. I gotta pay Oscar.
Yo.
I should just
All
stop
right,
betting.
bro. That interest gonna rack up, bro.
Facts.
So, what are your guys' overall thoughts then on the table? Like, for example, relegation. What are we looking at here? Is it done and dusted for West Ham? I mean, there's certain teams in this bottom three that are for sure they're it's signed, right? Like it's signed, it's delivered, they're gone, right?
Yeah, for me, Burnley and Wolves, 100%.
Burnley and Wolves.
West Ham, maybe. I just don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. So for me, those three.
Yeah, where do you see West Ham like propelling and getting points from? Nottingham Forest. I mean, they just got Murillo back from injury. They got Aina back now too, so they're going to be a little stronger defensively. And Chris Wood, I think, is coming back too, bro. So they might get some goals
I forgot about
from him too. So you never know. So I think Nottingham Forest is going to have enough to stay up. I don't see West Ham how they're going to move that needle.
Yeah. Looking at the schedule, they have a tough schedule.
I'm going to go out and say something crazy and probably a little contrary to how I've sounded before in this in these last hour that we've been talking. But I think Leeds is going to go down.
Damn.
I think Leeds is gonna shit the bed. I think they're gonna choke.
Might crash out.
I think they'll crash out in a beautiful fashion. Yeah. I think it's a lot of informed players, and it's not sustainable, in my opinion. It's not sustainable at all. All right, so I think talking about what we all want to talk about, what the title race. I think what are we thinking here? I think Serge has already said it's Man City's already. Daniel, you feel the same way?
For what time? For the relegation?
The title race.
Oh yeah, Arsenal all the way.
Arsenal all the way. Serge?
I still think City's gonna pull through, bro. I think it's gonna be tight. I think City's gonna do just enough to take that lead again.
I think it's ours to lose. It's Arsenal's to lose.
No,
clip,
sure.
clip.
It's Arsenal's to lose.
Clip this chat.
I think by March they should be 8 points clear, and I think come May, I'll see my boy Saka with a nice gold chip in his mouth, enjoying life. Star boy, baby.
He's been a long time coming.
I know, and he's gotta go on and potentially win the World Cup in the summer. You know what I mean?
Hey,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, if he does that, oof. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I think so. I think one of the things that we talked about here were some of these new signings that have come in. So I kind of wanted to. The transfer market is obviously open. It's obviously January. There's a lot of business to be done. A lot of clubs need a lot of strengthening. But I think maybe before we get into that portion of it, who stands out as the signing so far of the season from top down? Who do you guys see as like the best signing so far? Who comes to mind? It doesn't even have to be stat-wise.
In the Premier League?
In the Prem, yeah.
I mean, I'll say Thiago from Brentford.
Oh yeah,
like
nasty.
Like no one's really talking about him. Like the guy, bro. You know how crazy it is to come from. I'm trying to look him up right now because I don't even know where he's coming from. He used to play in Club Brugge. Well, actually, He came to Brentford last year, but I don't know if it was ACL injury or something. He only played 8 games last season. They bought him from Belgium back in 2024.
Club Bruges.
Bruges, yeah. And this season, 17 goals in 22 games. It's insane. Like, it sounds normal now because of Haaland, but like before Haaland, like those numbers were like insane. So for me, in terms of like someone who surprised me, Thiago, and then I guess in terms of someone who has been crucial for their team this season, there's so many. There's quite a few, but like I could say Zubimendi quietly has been the rock that Arsenal were looking for.
Zubi too.
I wish he came to Madrid, but
he almost went to Madrid, didn't he?
He didn't.
They were trying to.
Madrid doesn't want. He didn't want the Klarna plan, so.
Whoa! Isn't Madrid free FC? We want free. Even Mbappe
Exactly.
was free, wasn't he?
Klarna, Ferm, free FC,
all of them.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go out and say that Granit Xhaka for me has been the signing of the season for a club. I think what he's doing with Sunderland.
Xhaka.
I don't know if that's Arsenal bias. It probably is, but I do think that what he's done at that club is kind of like it stands out to me. I think especially if they stay up and they're a little bit higher in the table than maybe the regulars that we're used to seeing, I think I would put Granit Xhaka for me as so far the standout signing of the season.
Yeah. I do think a good signing too has been like Ekitike for Liverpool. I think he's been kind of under the radar, and especially not even getting the light that he needed with Isak. But now that he's out, I'm sure he's going to shine even more. I think he's been real crucial and has literally helped Liverpool kind of maintain that that superiority or being as strong as they're known to be. But I also do like Turkey from Man City. Like I said, I think he kind of plays a lot free. He doesn't play under Pep's rules and regulations that we tend to see. He's not so much of a robot in that midfield. So I think that gives him a lot of freedom and gives City kind of like more creativity. But yeah, Ekitike and Turkey for me are two that stand out to me.
I think that signing of Ekitike was kind of groundbreaking for Liverpool. I do think it was a disservice what they did to him and not just giving him that chance to potentially be like that main guy. I think he's already shown what he's capable of. I think one of my favorite fantasy players that I've picked up. I think he's really underrated too. I think he has a lot more to give. There's not a lot of direct relationships that he has around him yet that he's used to, but what he's been able to do within that time frame that he's been there, I think is nice. And I think he needs a nice right winger and a nice left winger that will be able to combine with him a little bit more. And I think he's going to be booming. Yeah. I think if they kept Diaz, his numbers would be a third higher. I think he would have 2 or 3 more goals, maybe 4 more goals to his name. I think a Diaz would have played well with him, at least in my opinion. I'm not a tactician like Coach Daniel over here, but I think it would have definitely helped him out. I think Gakpo is a different style of player, and I think I'm not really sure how much they're doing on that left wing, to really help Ekitike out. But I definitely agree. That's a solid hit for the transfer window so far. Solid hit.
Yeah.
Yo, how do you guys feel about worst signings so far of the window? The worst transfer window signing so far?
Isak.
Isak? You think Isak?
Yeah. In terms of, money, there's so many. Literally, all strikers. Isak, Gyökeres, Sesko.
How much was Sesko?
60, around 67.
Yeah, that's not as bad.
I mean, for what everyone thought Isak was going to be for Liverpool, because he was like, that final stone, like from the Avengers on the Gauntlet, bro. Like they thought that he was gonna, bring it home, especially with all the signings that Liverpool did over the summer. Isak was that last, like, we got that striker now, like, it's just been disappointing for them.
Damn. It's so funny because when Isak left, I think they were just. I think everybody in Liverpool was just expecting to run away with the title after
Yeah,
that.
100%.
I don't know if you guys remember early on. Everybody was like, "Yeah, there's no hope for anybody. Just give them the title already."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's incredible. I don't know if that's my worst signing. I would say I just feel like it's tough to gel into like a real team. I guess I'll go with that too. I just don't. I
There's
don't
so
want to.
many. There's so many.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't
a
even say
lot. I think
Garnacho, Joao Pedro.
Yeah, bro.
I think if we're talking about money, it's gotta be like Isaac. But if we're talking
Yeah.
about like what you expected them to bring, I think even Jokeres might be up there a little bit. Like it's not. It's. I think it's a little tough.
Right.
I think I'll go Isaac. I think I'll go Isaac for the money though, because
Yeah.
you know my boy was rivaling Holland last year, and I just think you know what he's done. But I will say, historically speaking, if you look at Isaac's injury record, I think last season was one of his most like cap seasons. It was one of those seasons he played the most in. So I think from his standpoint, he needed to capitalize on that because depending on where he's at with his age, it might not be that simple to get a big move again like that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think from his side, he kind of had to capitalize a little bit. So regarding the transfer windows, who do you think needs the most signings right now? Let's just say I think yeah. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this screen with you. Let's talk specifically. Maybe let's just do top six. We'll do top six. Let's look at the top six and see what they need. So we'll start with Arsenal. I mean, you guys think they need anything?
They need to let go some players.
Yeah, that
Who they need to
bench
let
is
go
crazy,
of?
bro.
Who they need to let go of? What are you talking about?
just the kid one there. That's it.
Ethan, he needs to go out on loan, right?
Yeah, he needs to play.
All right. What about Liverpool? What does Liverpool need to get back
Wingers,
on track? Wingers?
Yeah, they need
and center back.
Wingers? Bring back Diaz on loan. Bring back
Yeah.
Nunez on loan.
Cause you gotta think about it. You know, they lost two key players, two amazing wingers, Jota and Luis Diaz.
And also Salah, no?
Yeah.
Oh well,
he
he's
seems
an
like
AFCon.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
AFCON, but
Yeah, that's
hasn't been
literally
turning up.
three
The GOAT will be
wingers.
back. The Egyptian king will be back, I'm sure. And I think he's gonna come back refreshed. I promise.
Yeah, it was a
I
nice
think he'll
break.
come back a nice break. He has some he had some time away from Slot. I think things will be okay. I do agree in the sense that they definitely need a proper left winger. Like I think letting go of Diaz obviously was a mistake now. You know, I think whatever money you needed, you find another way to pick it up. In my opinion, they need a right center back. Konate, the drop off from last season to this season has been immense, bro. It's incredible. I don't know if I've personally seen a player drop off so badly. It's I'm not sure.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, even now with what's his name, Bradley going off injury, that looked like a serious injury. Maybe even the right
that was
back.
nasty.
Maybe even the right back now.
Right back's a good shout.
Yeah.
Right back's a good shout.
Because they've
yeah.
even been playing Soboslai as right back, right, in some games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're kind of you know shortening on that.
They're light over there. And
Yeah.
Frimpong has been getting injured. The first half of the season, he was injured a couple of times, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be. We can give them Ben White for 50 mil. Maybe bump it up. Maybe 65. Benny Blanco.
Right.
Give him some Benny Blanco.
Especially if they win the league, bro. Tax.
It's crazy.
What do they call it? The British tax.
Exactly.
The British tax. The
Wages,
British
right?
tax on these players. Yeah. I mean, I agree with all those Liverpool, all those areas. So right back, right center back, in my opinion, and then left mid they need. And then I mean, judging by what's going on, they might need a striker again, bro. They might need another striker. So who knows? They're rich now, so it's gonna be okay. Yeah. What about? Did we talk about City? Did we say anything about City?
Center backs.
Yeah.
Center back. Oh my
Center
goodness.
backs, bro. It's over.
Bro, speaking of center backs, how much does that suck for Gavardio, bro?
He might
He's
miss
gonna
the
miss the
World
World
Cup.
Cup, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man, I had him on fantasy too. His life is more important than fantasy. His health is more important than fantasy. But he was picking me up some points. I mean, not the most points, but I did feel safe with him at the back. So yeah, damn. Yeah, I think City's another head case though because they're in a junction where I'm not sure who's recruiting, but these are not the same type of profile players that they were recruiting before. It just doesn't feel the same as before, where you were recruiting specific. I think it started with Doku for me. I don't think Doku was in Savinho. I don't. Those two were a big misses for me, and I think Doku has had his moments, but I'm not sure he's hit the ground running for City. And I think they need that's why they needed a Semenyo because he's proven he's gonna hit the ground running and ballers will ball at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also with Marmouche, right, that they picked up. I know he got
Um,
injured and then he went to the AFCON. But he was gonna play that role, right? Like a false nine or whatever the case was.
oh, was he?
So it was kind of like butting heads with Haaland. Like I mean they might just be planning for the future after Pep, post Pep.
They might be. I'm not sure if it's going too well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What about Chelsea, Serge? What does Chelsea need?
God, bro. Well, we definitely need a left winger for sure because we completely missed with Garnacho and Gittins.
Bro, but you cannot pick up another left wing.
I mean,
what are the best?
well, what's gonna happen now? I think going forward is I think Neto might move out to the left, and they might have to just start Esteval on the right because I think that kid has promise. Um, or they can just throw Palmer on the right hand side and then just have it depends on the formation that this new coach is going to bring. But yeah, I think a left winger, and I think we're short on the center backs. Our center back pairings has been a real head case. We pretty much change center back pairings every game. Fofana has been injured. Levi Koa has been out for the entire season. So it's really just been solid with Chaloba, and we've been playing Achimpong, which is a right back from the academy. So yeah, that center back pairing. If it's not Chaloba or Body Shield, it doesn't look good. So I'd probably go for a strong center back at this point in time.
How would you feel about Chelsea going all in on Gehi?
I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't. The problem is that we have Levi Colwell coming back, right? So Chalobah, Chelsea have never been too fond of, but I think he's solid enough. Even as a backup center back. It's possible, but I just don't know if we would go all in for a center back at this moment in time.
What about my boy Fofana, bro? What's going on with Fofana?
He's just always tearing up his ACL, bro. Boy's made out of fucking I don't know what he's made out of, bro. Yeah, he's made out of glass. So I just don't know, who they would go for, especially now at City. There's gonna be so much competition for Gay, bro. Like Madrid want him, Liverpool want him, City want him, and with what's going on at Chelsea, bro, as a player, are you gonna come and wanna be involved in all that mess, bro? Like there's no security in that starting 11 for Chelsea.
At the end of the day, like my boy Coach Daniel says, money talks.
Hey.
So
Money
at the end of the day, money talks. So
money.
yeah. What do you think about Man United, Daniel?
Well, first they need a coach before they can get the players.
Who do they bring in? Zidane?
I don't know. Nobody wants to go to that shit.
Let them have Javi Alonso. Give them Javi Alonso.
They can have anybody they want. Same shit. I don't know who. Well, they need. I feel like they've been rebuilding since 2012, 2013. Sir Alex left them. They definitely need a stronger center back. I mean, they have the lead and Yoda, but like same. Like I don't know what's going on with players nowadays. Everyone's just hurt all the time. I mean, I get it. There are more games now than before, so that could be it. But essentially, they need a center back for sure. They need midfielders, like central midfielders. Casemiro's,
Casemiro, bro.
He can get it done, but he's old. And the other guy, Warda, whatever his name is, Hawaiian, he's just awful. And Mino, he's on and off. So they for sure need a center mid. And then on the wings, they're fine. Embuemo, Cunha, Sesko, they're decent up top. So for me, it's just midfield, and that's about it.
Yeah. Did we miss anybody? Any other big teams that we maybe we could talk about? So we did Arsenal. We did Man City. Tottenham. I mean,
they need Jesus.
We can give him one. We we got home for them. We got what?
We got
100 mil.
100
mil. All right. So I think that's essentially the transfer window. I think the next game week is game week 22 and the Carabao Cup. So maybe we could look and see what's going on. And I think the next set of games look like this. And I guess we'll give our quick rundown of what's important. You know, we're kind of out of time. There's a lot of games going on here, but I think the big games we could all agree is Manchester United versus Man City. Big game. Man City needs to pick up and collect all 3 points. This is a big game now for Arsenal. I think now they kind of have to show a little bit more chest based off of that performance. I don't think any Arsenal fan would have been completely happy with that performance against Liverpool. And I think I would say that some of these tough game. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not.
They lost that game last year.
Yeah, I think that's been a constant reminder this year. All the games that last year we struggled in, can we set them right? You know, I think that's been a constant theme throughout the season, and hopefully they can continue the trend of making positive outcomes out of that. So I think any of these stand out to you guys?
Just I like that derby, bro. City and United. United, you know, with that bounce. Without having the old coach with different formation. Bruno Fernandes coming back. City, same thing. Gonna come back and see if they can get it done. It's a huge game for Pep and the boys. So let's see what they can get done.
Yeah, and no offense, this is a big game too. This is a must-win game for Chelsea.
Every game right now is a must-win for them. I mean, if they lose a game, they'll drop. I think right now we're in 5th or 6th. We'll drop to like 9th or 10th if we lose a game, because that's how, you know, that mid-table is right now.
The state of the table is crazy right now. I think once you look at those point numbers, we'll see what every team is made of soon. I think I'm telling you, by the end of this, maybe by the end of January, we'll know more clearly what everything is going to look like. I think teams start to, it's the business end. We're getting towards the business end of the season, and I think teams start to shape up a little bit differently now. They start to, you know, put their big boy pants on and say, let's get to work. We're gonna know soon who's lifting that trophy. I promise you.
We'll see.
It's coming. Yeah.
Here we go.
One last thing, what are you guys' thoughts on the Carabao Cup, Serge? It's Arsenal versus Chelsea in a 2-leg semi.
I love it. I love it. I mean, even those as inconsistent as Chelsea can be, they always are consistent in big games. They always show up.
Yeah.
Even with a man down. So it's going to be an exciting game. It's always a great game to watch. And that's actually my day off, so I will be watching that game for sure. So
love that.
We will be drinking some pints, watching that game. Hopefully, no one gets a red card. So,
hey, yeah.
It could be 11.
Dan, would you say that's a must-win game for Chelsea, or a must-win? Well, let's just say, is it a must-win couple of legs for Arsenal or for Chelsea?
I think
who needs it more?
Arsenal has more pressure because they need a title. You know, this game, you win this series, you basically make it to the final against City most likely. So, you know, I think Arsenal has the more pressure because I think Chelsea now with a new coach, they're going to give him time. So I feel like even if he loses this game, it won't be such a big of a deal compared to Arsenal. Because now if Arsenal loses the game, they'll be losing to a team who's been struggling this season. Plus, they just fired their coach and, you know, a new guy just came in and it won't look good. I do think that the fact that it's a 2-game series, it benefits Chelsea. If it was like 1 game, I feel like Arsenal has it in the bag. But because now it's 2 games, it will give time for the new coach to, you know, to play Arsenal once, and then when they play again, he can be like, okay, let me try these now. That maybe it didn't work the first game. Because this guy is really, really smart. He knows what to do. The big issue will be if he can connect his ideas to the players. If he can, you know, bring everything together, his ideas, the players, the way he wants them to do things. If everything connects, he'll do well at Chelsea, but it's going to take some time.
So you think Arsenal's going to put they're going to try to get as many cups as they can, or do you think they're sole purpose or so?
They have to show out here. I mean, it doesn't matter what Arsenal team is out there, A, B, or C line. There needs to be a final. They have to get into a final. And I think this has to be to be a catalyst for them. This has to be the start of something. Any outcome besides Arsenal advancing doesn't look pretty, and it puts a lot of pressure on them mentally, I would say. You know, the final is the final. Anything can happen in the final, but they need to get to that final. I think anything but that will be seen as a failure in terms of our Carabao run. And I think Arsenal doesn't have the best history in the Carabao Cup. But, you know, this team, and I know Arteta's telling them, they're here to make history. And, you know, if you really want to start making that history, you can start here with the Carabao Cup that hasn't been won in a very long time. So, you know, it's up for grabs, and hopefully they advance. But I think that's it for the show, guys. I think if anybody is still listening up to this point, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you, and stay tuned for more. We'll definitely be back, and we'll see you guys during game week 22. And hopefully by that time we've picked up a nice view against Chelsea. You know,
We'll see.
it'd be nice.
Don't get your hopes up.
We'll see what the vibes are. We'll see what the vibes are. So, guys, thank you so much, and bye until next time.
Peace
Bye,
out.
y'all.
Peace out.